Welcome to Bibliobrainwaves, where pages breathe, ideas pulse, and wisdom moves through mind, body, and spirit, like a quiet current. This is a space where books are felt, not just read, where written words become waves and waves become wisdom. Okay. Hi, my name is Zakia, and I'm a holistic practitioner. And this is my podcast, Bibliobrainwaves, where I share my insights from books that I read to help you on your journey through mind, body, and spiritual wellness. And today we have a guest with us, and her name is Khadija, and she works in biology. And I'll let her introduce herself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Zakia, for having me. And thank you. I'm so grateful for being your first guest. And I
Yeah.
hope I can answer your questions in a helpful way to your audience. So, about me, I'm a biologist by degree with 10 years in the pharmaceutical industry. And I decided to quit because I wanted to proceed the I wanted to follow my gut and understand the placebo effect because I know that answered so many of my questions, that opened up doors like the Pandora box for me, because we all have healing powers, and I knew that we have what it takes to heal ourselves without synthetic drugs. So I pursued this path, studying the brain, because I thought it's all in the brain. And then it led me to the gut, because 90% of the neurotransmitters, chemicals that the brain uses, come from the gut. So thy food is thy medication. Then I had another path where I wanted to understand the genetic part of it, because I wanted to know the impact of our genes on our life and health. Then I discovered the the godfather of epigenetics, my mentor, my idol, Dr. Bruce Lipton. So I followed his work, I studied his books, I studied his teachings, and I found the power with that can complete my path in holistic and wellness, to understand how to heal without synthetic drugs. I specialize in vitality because I found out that the secret to a healthy body is a level of vitality.
Yes. Okay. So, we are still discussing our book, Healing Ancestral Karma by Mari Silva, and we're still in chapter one. So, we will be discussing epigenetics. And
Yay.
yeah. So, first of all, when what is epigenetics? Can you kind of simplify that for our listeners?
Yes. Gladly and simply, epi is above. Genetics, we all know, is the hereditary information that goes from generation to generation. So when the baby is conceived, we have chromosome from the mother and a chromosome from the father. If it's a girl, we have two X's. If it's a boy, we have XY. And each one of the chromosomes comes with a genetic baggage and genetic print that carries on in the child's life. And that impacts our health, our shape, everything with the morphogenetic, which is different now. We're just talking about the genetics. So the genetics define our well-being or our sicknesses or our state, and the epigenetics. That's where um, uh, Dr. Bruce Lipton revolutionized the world of genetics. He was saying okay, here's the thing. In the 1990s, there was a project to determine the human genome, to dissect the genes and understand how the genes work. Okay. everybody was expecting that we have a certain amount of genes and certain amounts of proteins. But the genome study proved that we have more proteins than genes. And the proteins, to simplify it, are the substance that the gene calls upon to have an expression. So we have more proteins than genes means we can have different responses to that tune in to the gene when it calls upon a protein. Dr. Bruce Lipton proved in his lab that the environment dictates that connection between the gene that with that specific protein. And that therefore changes the expression, the genetic expression. Okay? So we know for sure now, and thanks to him, that our environment dictates our genes. And that's what it is. Epigenetics is above genes. What is it that controls our genetic expressions?
So, would you say that nature has an effect on our entire well-being and who we and it affects how we develop even as adults? Like we're always changing
By nature, you mean
by our
everything,
environment?
our environment? Yes. We have that genetic background, that genetic baggage that we have lived with, that we inherited from our parents, right? But the
Yes.
environment, our nature, the way we eat, the way we think, the way we interact, the way we connect with each other, the way our belief system can control our genes. So,
Mm.
yes, nature can be our guide to the best genetic expression we can have.
So how can we achieve balance with epigenetics? How can that help us?
Okay. As a cellular biologist, I want to go deep to the cellular level to give you my insight of how to keep that well-being. If
Yes.
we go to a cell and we ask questions, like the cell is a being, right? So that cell needs to eat, breathe, drink, reproduce, and die, just like a human being. Once we know what the cell is feeding off, we can give it the right fuel so it does its functions in a healthy, harmonious way. And I break it down to the smallest and to the details. Like the cell feeds off, first thing is oxygen, because without it, we don't have the activation of the ATP, ADP cycle that releases electrons that are necessary for our energy, that we call energy. But that's the level of vitality we need. So oxygen is number one, because breath, if we don't breathe, we can go 40 days without food, 7 days without water, but we can't go over 4 or 5 minutes if we are professional divers. I don't remember the record, but it doesn't go over 5, 6 minutes, 6 minutes. With that, first supply, the first fuel to the cell is oxygen. So breath is important. Second thing is water, because without water, the cell dries up and it starts going into decay. The third thing is food. We got to give it nutrients that can be transformed into micro elements, into photons, to have that cellular alive, to maintain it alive. Last and not least is the signaling between the cells that's connected to the whole body and spirit. The signaling means the communication between cells, and that is the emotional side of the fuel for the cell. That's where the epigenetics resides. It's the information we're giving to the cell. It's the signaling the cell is getting. Depending on how we feel and what we believe, we can empower it or we can disempower it. Did that answer
Awesome.
your question?
Yeah. So,
Okay,
what
good.
I would like to know is in your work, what is your process for helping your clients? How do you help people release their legacy luggage, as I like to call it, their baggage? How do you help them through that process? What kind of programs do you have?
Okay. Um, After years of research, I decided to help people rise above all limitations: physical, mental, spiritual. And it could be the three, it could be one that more than the other. So when somebody comes to me with an illness, and I'm not a physician, I always tell them check with your physician, because we need to keep the body in a state where we can cope with whatever it's going through in a healthy way. But I go to the root of the problem. So I work on the body, physically, nourish the body, give it the vitality it needs, give it the breath work, the right breath work to feed the deep tissues and the brain. That's my first step, is the breath work. When somebody comes to me with any kind of disease, mental or physical, the first thing I do with them is teach them how to breathe. And you would be surprised, more than 90% of people can't do the diaphragmatic breathing. We breathe from the chest up, and that doesn't let the flow of life go freely. So we have tension in our shoulders and our neck because we're not at ease. We are in that stress mode. That's the first thing I do. The second is I fix their food, because food is medication. We remove all the toxins, we remove all the processed food, or the fried food, everything that's harming the body, that's making the body waste more energy to process it. And I try to implement live food, food that gives us life, right? Food that resonates, that has a frequency, not just empty calories, because we want to nourish the body from within. We want to nourish the body with, like you said, you mentioned in the beginning, again, if we go with nature or against it. Anything that grows is good for us. Anything that's alive is good for us. Then once I do that, because my goal is to raise the vitality so the body doesn't go into decay, and then we work on the trauma behind it. Because according to my latest teacher and course in Unified Integrative Medicine, every trauma has an address in our body. Everything we experience, everything we go through is a frequency that can impact one of our glands, the 7 glands related to our chakras. So once we know the cause of the disease, we can remove it as we wash it out, and then we can give the body the reset, and it mentally goes to homeostasis. So that's basically how I work with people.
And for those of you that don't know what chakras are, can you explain to our viewers what chakras are?
With pleasure. I am a scientist. I needed to understand it in a scientific way before I can just be like, I need to work on my chakras. So chakras is a Sanskrit word for wheel of energy. And in quantum physics, it's literally a vortex. Like every chakra, we have 7 main chakras directly linked to our glands. If you want, I can go through the 7 briefly to explain what they are.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So the chakras are centers of energy. That means those wheels of energy are the connection between our physical and non-physical body. Because I think everybody now knows that we have something beyond this physical body. We have something that surrounds us. We can call it the aura. We can call it the electromagnetic field. We can call it the energetic body. Whatever we want to call it, it's something that's not matter, that's not physical. And there is a communication. Like, for example, if you open somebody's skull, you don't see any feelings, emotions, memories, or anything. We just see bunch of cells, bunch of tissues, and bunch of veins and arteries, right? There is no feelings inside. So I was asking myself, where are they? Until I studied basics of quantum physics, and I know that they're all around us as a frequency. And our body is like a TV set. It's always emitting waves, always, constantly. And we can tune into one frequency around us and start broadcasting. The example I always give is so simple. Like right now, I'm sitting down and I have two frequencies in form of ideas that I can stand up or not stand up. When I tune in to standing up, my brain cells, like there's like soft antennas, connect with the idea of standing up. Then that will trigger my brain to send signal to my body to get every cell in my body and bone to get ready to stand up. That's how we're broadcasting every day. So once we understand that, we know that the communication between the physical and non-physical is through the wheels of energy, which we call chakras. We have mainly 7 of them connected to our glands. So the root chakra, which is related to the adrenal glands, is a vortex that's connecting the adrenals with the fields. So once we feel like we're in danger, the serenal gland would get a signal to fight or flight. So that's for survival and territorial. The second chakra, and its color is red. The second chakra is the sacral chakra. It's related to reproductive organs, ovaries in the female and testes in the male, and that is for all reproductivity, creativity, and the powers. Right? We go up to the solar plexus. It's related directly to our pancreas, and it regulates the insulin production so the body can process the sugars. Its color is yellow. We go up to the heart chakra, and it's related to a gland called thymus. Thymus is important in regulating the T cells. So it's so important, but generally we refer to it as the heart chakra. The color is green, and it's the ability to give and receive love freely. The fifth chakra is the throat chakra, related to our thyroid, and this color is blue, and it's connected to the thyroid gland, like I said, and it's about self-expression at work or at school. Then we go to the third chakra. It's related to the pituitary gland, and it's like connecting to this gland where people say the third eye. When it opens, you can see beyond the physical. Then the seventh chakra, related to the pineal gland, which is our connection with the divine, because it opens upwards to connect with God, with the divine, with the field, whatever you want to call it. So briefly, these are the chakras. Once we regulate them, all the hormones are regulated and we don't have disease.
Wow.
Oh, I go
Yeah.
on and on with chakras, so try to keep it simple.
Yeah, I definitely believe too that, the imbalances definitely show up in our lives. And when we're privy to what each one does and how it affects us, we can more easily reflect on what we need to be working on in our personal lives to balance that in a mental, physical, or emotional way more easily
Absolutely.
when we can know what is happening there. So
Absolutely.
thank you for that information.
You're welcome.
Can you let our viewers know what you have going on now? Any specials? Any special programs you have running now?
Yes, I have plenty. I mean, I have so much passion. I'm very passionate about this. Besides one-on-one sessions, I do retreats, I do group sessions, I teach courses because I understood that the secret to health. Like no, but now, I mean, when I discovered that after years of studying, I know that once we keep the vitality up, above a threshold, because every cell has a voltage. And every cell to be functioning perfectly has to be above minus 36 millivolts. Once we know the mechanism and what we have to give the cells and the organs, therefore the body, to keep that level of vitality above the threshold, the body can suffer emotionally, but it won't get a disease. It won't get into decay where we need to go to the doctor and take medication. So my goal is to teach people how to keep that level of vitality up so we can deal with the suffering or discomfort instead of dealing with both suffering and illnesses. So that's one course. Another course is how to heal the body. What are the techniques you need to know to remove all blockages in all your chakras and meridians, which we didn't talk about. The meridians are the flow of energy from one place to another. So once we have a blockage, we need to go there and remove the blockage so the energy could flow freely and nourish the organs and the cells. And that I teach life coaches if they really want to do a deep healing to remove all the blockages from the physical body. I also
Beautiful.
I also run a detox. I do once twice a year. I do a detox that could serve the liver and the kidneys, and I'm running one as we do a week of preparation, and we do a small little protocol where we can, get the body to get rid of toxins, especially after the holidays and after the summer. Yeah, so I do a lot of things, but I love working with people to help them heal.
Well, I love that. So what I want to do now is give you the space to let people know where they can find you. I'll definitely put your links below, but let people know how they can connect with you.
Thank you. I created this omniscension. My company is omniscension for a reason, because I was looking for something where I can express what I do in a way that that makes sense to me first and for people to understand. So I came up with omni, like God is omnipresent, and ascension. So omniscension means helping people ascend in all levels of their life, like in
Okay.
health, in wellness, relationship, marriage, parenting, anything, even social skills. A lot of people have, social anxiety and stuff. So everything, anything that you need to ascend in your life and overcome your limitations, I can help you with. So this is my company, omniscension.com. Recently, I have been pushed to be more present online. So I have my Instagram, which is my name, at Khadija Lewis. And yeah, all my links are there. The link tree is there, and everybody can reach out. I'll be happy to answer any question.
Well, I am so grateful that you were able to come on today and teach us about chakras and talk about epigenetics and educate our listeners. So, check the links below and connect with Khadija because you definitely need to align mind, body, and spirit
And
in order to stay balanced. So,
thank you.
keep listening and stay tuned, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Much health to everybody.